Namaste, my fellow strikers. Holy Materia here, back with another Shinobi Striker video. Today, we're going to be talking about how to play survival mode as a range type. So let's get right into it. Okay, so I know it's taken me a long time to make these videos about survival mode or Ninja World Face Off, partly because it's just my least favorite game mode by far, and it shouldn't be because it could be so good, and I was so excited about it when it first came out, but they just ruined it with the way they made the rules. So yeah, it's taken me a long time to make this, so this is going to be a guide about how to win as a range type, not about how you should play. You can check out this Hidden Rose video for like the etiquette in survival mode, and like he said, if you want to win, you can't really follow a lot of those rules, and I'm just going to tell you about how to win as a range type in survival mode, because the odds are all stacked against us as range types. So yeah, I remember when survival mode first came out, I was so excited about it. It sounded like a great way to play the game, like this free-for-all Royal Rumble sort of thing, where you kind of don't have to rely on teammates. And so yeah, I was really excited about that because it gets on my nerves when I have like bad teammates as a solo player a lot. So I was like, oh yeah, this is gonna be the best game mode. And then when you get in there and you play, it's really fun, but then the results most of the time don't really match up with like how well you do in the game, just because of the way the rules are. Now they have changed the rules since survival mode first came out, and it's better than it used to be, but it still encourages people to play in a really just trash sort of way. So because it's survival mode, a lot of the rules have to do with not dying as opposed to like getting kills. So it encourages people to play like defense class and healer in a way that's just ruins all the fun that you could really have in that mode if it was just about getting kills. And I understand why they did it to some extent, because if it was just about kills, then like healers would be useless, defense types might not be as good theoretically, but they would actually still be good because defense types can still get as much kills as range and attack. It would basically just make it so that healers are useless. But the way they made the points, it puts so much emphasis on the survival aspect that it doesn't even matter half the time like how many kills you get. Like I've seen people win survival mode matches and they're 0-0. Like all they did is run around and survive the whole match and just run from people, and they've won just from surviving, because everybody else is fighting and dying and losing those continuous survival points because they didn't survive the whole time. So yeah, so that's why it's taken me a long time to get to this game mode, because I do consider this to be like one of the real legit game modes, like unlike Barrier Battle, which isn't a legit game mode because the balancing is so bad, but I do consider Face Off or survival mode to be like a real game mode. And I've been meaning to make these videos, but I just don't like talking about it because I don't want to encourage the style of playing that I'm about to talk about now, because to win consistently in survival mode, you have to play in like a really just dishonorable way that I don't like, and I didn't want to talk about it, but yeah, people have asked me for the survival guide, and I'm not going to do a guide that's not going to help you win. So let's just talk about how to win as a range type in survival mode. Okay, so rule number 1 for winning survival mode as a range type, especially if you're a beginner, throw honor out the window. Don't care about what your opponents think of the way you're playing. Don't care about what any YouTuber says about the way you're playing. Just don't even think about being honorable at all, because it just puts you at a disadvantage. Like when I play survival mode, I follow a certain honor code, but I've been playing for a long time and I can still kind of get wins, at least top 3 wins, by playing based on my little code. But if you're just beginning, don't worry about playing honorable, because nobody else is going to. Like there are very few people who play survival mode in an honorable way. So just throw that completely out the window, trying to play in a way that is noble or whatever. Just don't even worry about that. So number 2 is to be cautious, because as a range type, you're the #1 target in survival mode, no matter what. Like whether it's just a regular survival match or if it's Ninja World Face Off, but especially in Ninja World Face Off, all the sweats are gonna go after you the whole match. So when I say be cautious, and this goes along with don't worry about honor. Don't be afraid to run in survival mode, and don't be afraid to hide either, because as a range type, everybody knows that you're the weakest class. And like I've said before, right now, I don't just mean weakest when it comes to like having a little bit of health, but everybody knows right now, especially the more advanced players, they know that range type is the weakest class right now in Shinobi Striker. Like as far as the meta, they're easily the weakest class, and hopefully that changes when the last season 3 DLC comes out. If it's a range type, maybe that'll give range types a little boost. But as of now, as of the making of this video, range types are unanimously considered to be the weakest class in the game. So not only are you the target because you have the least health and the least ability to heal yourself and defend yourself, but people know that you're not a very good class. So yeah, everybody's gonna be going after you. So when I say be cautious, mainly that means stick to the walls, but you don't have to take it to the level of some people where you'll see like a range type just running around the top of the wall the entire match, and like you will never see them touch the ground. You don't need to be like that, but make sure that you don't let your opponents surround you, because like I said, everybody's going to be looking for you or looking at you. So make sure that you are close to the walls, and no opponent can get behind you, between like you and the wall, and you keep your opponent in front of you. So yeah, don't try not to go out into the middle of the arena, because everybody's just going to converge on you as soon as they notice you. It's like people will disengage from the fight that they're in when they see a range type in a match, because like that's just how juicy you look in survival mode. Like everybody's just trying to get you. So yeah, be cautious. So yeah, don't be afraid to run, completely disengage from a fight, and don't be afraid to hide. You're a range type. Range types are supposed to fight from a distance. So, and also the arena gives range, or puts range types at a disadvantage also, because there's not really places to like hide or like good vantage points to get on your opponent besides getting on the walls. So a lot of the time you're just gonna be like fighting from on top of the wall, and then like chasing down where you see other people, and then like shooting them from up top. But when your opponents are in the middle of the arena, it's gonna be difficult for you to fight over there. So at that point you can get like maybe like halfway between the middle and the wall, but make sure that anybody that respawns isn't behind you, because they're gonna attack you right away as soon as they see that there's a range type that's unaware. So along with knowing when to disengage from a fight, or staying kind of hidden or out of sight, out of mind, know how to kite. So that's like keeping your opponent at an advantageous distance from you, so where you can hit your opponent but they can't hit you. You can use some ninjutsu to do this, but you're mostly going to rely on your ninja tool and like your evasion techniques to be able to do this, like backflipping and throwing like a ninja tool to keep people off of you, so that you can charge up your ninjutsu. Especially if you're like a new player, you don't want to be fighting people up close, especially in this game mode, because people are going to be jumping you. So even if you do get a 1v1 where you can get in some good combos, you know somebody's going to try to jump you, and they're going to go after you instead of your opponent, even though it should be the other way around, where like the squishies should be helping each other to fight against like things like defense types, who are going to be the main ones who are after you. And that's another thing. Don't waste your time on defense types. They have so many ways to survive and evade and just stall, that it's not worth it, because almost everybody who's playing survival mode and they're using a defense type, they're a cheesy player. Almost every defense type you see is running something like Subterranean Voyage, or some jutsu that, or Sage mode, or something that's just going to keep them alive the whole match basically. So it's a waste of time for you to worry about fighting them. So this is another thing that kind of sucks about trying to win survival mode, because you're basically going to have to go after other range types and other squishy types like attack. and sort of heal it, but sometimes don't even waste your time with healers either, because they also run cheese builds that keep them alive forever, and they're going to be running most of the time too. So yeah, your main targets are going to be other range types and attack types, and just know how to keep the defense type off of you. And like if they do engage you, just keep them off of you. Or I mean, they might be so in love with you that you might just have to kill them. But if they're on you like that, then they won't be stalling. So yeah, you can just go ahead and finish them off. But don't like target defense types, because they have the most cheese to stay alive in survival mode. Really right now, and basically since survival mode has come out, the defense class has been the king of survival mode, just because of the way the rules are. And it's unfortunate, because the game mode could be so much more fun if it wasn't like that, but oh well, that's just how it is. As far as your builds go, it's up to you, like your play style, but I like to run things that will help me survive, because that's the biggest thing. So something like Kamui Ban, because everybody's trying to jump you so you can get away, and like a lot of time people just be like, all right, I'm just gonna leave this guy loaded since he's got Kamui Ban, and you can escape and like regroup and get yourself back together. I also like to use Majestic Destroyer Flame, just because it's one of the best jutsu in the game, and you can use it from far away and snipe people. Oh, and this is another thing, don't be afraid to steal people's kills, because it's not honorable, but like I said, if you're trying to win, you don't need to worry about honor. So yeah, as a range type, think of yourself as a sniper in this game mode, because you kind of just have to steal people's kills, because of the way everybody else treats the game mode with range types. Since everybody's trying to jump you, you just have to stay out of sight, out of mind, and hit and run. So you shoot your stuff and you get out of there, and then you regroup and find somebody else that you can snipe, and then snipe them too. It's not honorable and it's not fun, so that's one of the main reasons I haven't wanted to make this video, because I just never have fun in survival mode really. So you can use whatever ninjutsu you like, but I use stuff that's either like something that's far away or mid-range. Like I like to use flame control also, but you have to get a little bit closer when you're using that, so just be cautious when you're using like the mid-range jutsu. And then for the top and bottom, for the bottom I like to use the one that boosts your health. The accessory I use, the one that gives you health back after getting kills. And then for the top, you can use something that goes with your ninjutsu, like boosting jutsu damage, or if you have 2 debuffing moves, you can use the one that increases the length of status ailments, or if you want to use another way to help you survive in survival mode as a range type is to use the Raging God medicine, and then you can use the top that boosts your healing. So that's like the kind of like the tankiest range build you can have, like using the Raging God medicine, the top that boosts your healing, the bottom that boosts your health, and then the accessory that gives you health back when you get kills. And then for ninjutsu, you can run something like Kamui Ban, so you can escape people, and then hiding in ash jutsu, so you can also escape people. But then you can use both of those moves offensively also. So especially if you like to play range at a close distance, you can use hiding in ash for the stun, and then you can use Kamui Ban to boost your attack power. But yeah, so I like to use Kamui Ban and then something else though, because I don't like fighting at a close range, and I also don't like running with with hiding in ash jutsu. So I use Kamui Ban with something else like Majestic Destroyer Flame or anything you want really. Like there's a whole bunch of ninjutsu that work well in survival mode that don't really necessarily work that well in the other game modes, so you can really be creative with your builds. So that's more up to you. But yeah, those are just some of the builds that I like to run, or some of the ninjutsu that I like to run. And then for my ult, especially in this game mode, I use Totsuka Blade all the time. It's one of the best times to use it, because the map is so good for using it, because it's all flat, and so you can always get people with that hit stun, and then pop it on them, like I've talked about in some other videos before. But yeah, this was supposed to be a short video, but I ended up ranting for most of the time, so so this would be like a range guide / rant about why I don't like survival mode when it should be one of the best modes in the game if they just change the rules. But yeah, so because of the rules, it's really hard to play range type, and especially it's hard to play it in an honorable way. So if you want to win, just steal kills, run, stick to the walls, stay out of sight, out of mind, don't let people jump you, and yeah, that's pretty much it. And run whatever build you feel the most comfortable with. So yeah, that's all for this one. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope this is helpful, and I'll have some more guides for the other classes in this mode. I don't think I'm gonna do one for defense because they don't need any help in here, but I'll do one for attack and maybe healer also. Yeah, I'll do one for healer because that's one of my main classes. So yeah, that's all for this one. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace and love. Thanks for watching, everybody. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to Shinobi strike that like button and subscribe if you're interested in more content. And if you really want to join the community, you can check out some of the links below with the Twitch, Discord, or if you want to help support the channel, you can check out the Patreon and the Streamlabs link. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Everybody stay safe out there. Peace and love.